Hey guys, we wanted to make a short but informational video about your first time home buying process. We have a lot of confusion and misunderstanding about what needs to be done and what you can do ahead of time to prevent havoc in the buying process. I'm gonna read the questions. We're gonna read the questions off, and then that people have, and then I'm going to answer them here so that you guys can utilize this video to get some of your questions answered.
Okay, so the first question is, where do I start?
Where do you start? The first thing that you'll want to do is contact someone like us, a realtor that you trust and that you feel comfortable with, that will give you the right advice and send you either to one of their lenders or banks, or maybe you have a bank or lender that you trust. Most importantly, they can look into your credit score, if you have one, what your situation is there. We can't do that for you, so we lean on them to get that done right and give you the advice that will get you that approval letter sooner rather than later. And the faster that we can start that process and get you in touch, the better. So if that's a year ahead of time, then that would probably be into your best interest.
And then the next question is simply, what is a credit score?
Credit score is something that you can work your way up to. I think 850 is the highest that you can get. Basically by making your payments on a loan, so whether that's a car, anything basically that you're borrowing money and they're recording that, making sure that you're paying your payments on time. If you make them late, then that does penalize your credit score, or can. Medical bills, so on and so forth. It's very important that you get and pay those bills on time so that you can have the best credit score, because the better the credit score, so to speak, the better interest rates and maybe potentially the bigger loan they can give you because of you showing consistency. And usually they want to see that for generally over 6 months, so that they can see a record of, hey, this guy or girl can make these payments on time and be responsible.
Okay, and the next question is, do you have to be pre-approved to buy a home?
Yes, you do need to have your pre-approval unless you're paying cash. If you're paying cash and have proof of funds, then you do not need an approval letter, because therefore you wouldn't need a bank. So you will want to have the lender give you that pre-approval. You may utilize open houses and stuff like that, maybe to look at a couple homes and just get a good idea. But on the sellers, for the seller's respect, as a buyer's agent, I will ask to see the pre-approval letter before we open up a house and have someone clean it and get their kids out of it and so on and so forth. So it's important that we have that letter before we really adventure out and start looking for a home for you.
Okay, and then what would you tell people if they say they want to rent a home?
Rent a home, what I would say to you is unless you have a short term of being here, or you might move or this or that, then maybe a rental would be your best interest. But something to take into consideration, after 2 years of owning a home as your primary residence, you do not have to pay taxes on your income. So if you know that off your income, that what you sold the property versus what you bought it for. So if you can earn, because real estate generally is going up, and we've seen that in the last couple of years. So if you're going to stay around here for 2 years plus, it might be to your best interest, instead of paying, let's say for instance, $1,000 a month at $12,000 a year, that'd be 24 grand that you'd be spending in rent. You could have that in equity in your home, and you own that real estate, so therefore you can make money on the value of the property going up. So for those of you that are renting also, you can buy a duplex as your primary residence, and you could rent out the other side. So, and you could, if you have a lease signed on the other end, you could almost, some lenders will let you use that as income. So therefore they can approve you for more, because they know you'll have income coming in for a year off of that lease. So with investment properties, there's a lot more opportunity and room for growth as far as added revenue to your income if you do those things as far as duplexes or rental properties. So it's always a better idea to buy, in my opinion, than it is to rent, because you will not, when you leave, you literally have nothing to account for.
Okay, and then what was one of the biggest challenges you ran into when you first bought your home?
Yeah, I bought my first home at 19, a duplex. So I figured if the parents kicked me out, then I'd at least have a place to go to where it would pay my monthly payment, and then I would just only be responsible for my utilities, so to speak, in my situation. So I purchased that and rented out both sides. But I can tell you right now that I was so nervous, didn't even know what was going on, basically just signed papers, trusted the realtor to take care of me, and everything went really well, even though I was not educated, because I had guidance. But being informed and understanding what you're going through and why is very helpful. I obviously wasn't going to live there, so it was a little bit different. But I remember not having any credit at all, zero zip, because I was always taught to pay cash for everything. Well, that ended up biting me in the butt because I didn't have any credit for them to give me an approval. So I did have to wait it out and earn some credit history before I could make that purchase happen. So for me, I didn't need a home right away, so waiting wasn't the issue, but it was kind of frustrating, especially if something that I really liked popped up. I was not able to purchase it because I didn't do the necessary steps. So we want to make this video, and this is why we're doing it, to help you understand how important it really is and how crucial it is to get these steps done and be educated by someone who truly puts the real in real estate. Thanks for watching. Subscribe below to watch all our other videos, and don't forget to go to our Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and all the other social media. We're even on Pinterest to learn more.